This is how you arrive at Boracay Island, a little pan boat as they're called. This is the white beach of Boracay, which it's renowned for and famous for. And here you're seeing the other side of Boracay, which is not so often discovered. These are the Ati tribe, the Ati people that are the indigenous people of the Philippines, and the first inhabitants of the island of Boracay. But they're not the owners of any land there. Most of them don't even have a birth certificate or even know when they were born. So as the beautiful island has been developed for tourism and the land has become very precious and expensive, the Atis have been pushed further and further back, where they are squatting on the back of the island. And this is where I met them the first time back in 1986, and I was taken to one of their homes and was shocked to find just a tiny little thing with about 4 or 5 people living in it, with little babies swinging in a dirty sheet, and absolutely nothing. They had nothing, and so I asked how I could help, and anyway, that's the beginning of the story. But here you can see where they live. Some of the houses are a bit better than others, but none of them have running water, none of them have a toilet, so they all use outside. The area is quite unhygienic, and at that time there was a rampant sickness and disease, in fact, that would claim the lives of many of the Ati children, just through things even like washing and drinking the water here. This was the well for the whole village, more or less, and they would wash outside there, and that was pretty dirty water, pretty dangerous. As you see here, there's a young boy called Dennis with a serious case of impetigo. I've actually seen babies die with impetigo there when it infects the whole body, and TB was another common cause of death among the Atis, but since then we've been able to have them inoculated and taken some of them for medical care. And part of the way forward, I believe, in that area is education. So we really thought it was important that the Atis got an education, that the kids started going to school. They had never been to school before. They mostly didn't know how even to hold a pencil or to brush their teeth, things that we just take for granted. And so we started there back in '93. This is a tropical ulcer, quite common, and they can get pretty nasty. They just keep growing and can infect you quite badly. So healthcare and education were two important things that we felt could change and improve the lives of the Atis. As you notice, the Atis are darker than most Filipinos that you see around the world, that you see outside of the Philippines. The Atis don't really get to travel much. As I said, most of them don't have a birth certificate. They don't. And they're kind of like the underdogs of the Philippines. They're kind of looked down on. I guess the story is a bit like that of the Aborigines and other native indigenous peoples. But they really are a lovely people, and although they're kind of looked down upon, I found them to be very humble and very, very loving. At first they were kind of ashamed and shy to even look at us, because they've been made to feel of so little worth. But we really value them and treasure them. This particular place was quite cut off from water supply, so that's why there was quite a lot of sickness there. And young Dennis wasn't doing too well with that impetigo. This guy actually lost his leg, probably just from something like a mosquito bite, that would have got infected. And here is a place called Bulabog, where they have been squatting for many years. The land is still up for sale, and they're often threatened that they have to move and pack up their homes and get out, even with 24-hour notice. And the kids are actually very fascinated with the hair on my legs here. That's why they're playing around with it. They're not used to it, and they're just playing around outside their houses here. It's quite unhygienic there, and there's often broken glass, and they get some nasty cuts and things. Unfortunately, some of the parents are not extremely responsible. Many of them try and drown their sorrows by drinking a lot and wasting their money on that. But we've seen great improvement over the years, and we've seen them really take responsibility, and we have seen a great change. And especially for these kids that started going to school and they've now grown up with an education, they have much better opportunities than their parents did. And this is what we're looking at really as Mission of Love. We were looking at the long run and how these people can become self-sufficient. And apart from that, we just really felt that we had to go there and do this work, and it was a pure joy and a pleasure to serve them. So we started a small school which is now grown to take 200 kids, and it's become self-sufficient, so that the children that pay school fees to go, that actually supports the Ati children to go for free. This is a government school where they were going for a while, but there's about 100 kids to a class, and it's pretty difficult, especially if you're not too quick a learner. And this is Marisa Familara, who was taking care of them, and she's running the school. She would feed them every school day. The children were being sponsored by Maltese people for quite a few years, but we wanted not for them to be dependent on foreign support forever, but to become self-sufficient. So that's what we've been working towards. And this little boy really wanted a nice piece of chicken, and he didn't quite get what he was after. On our recent visit